Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Fitz, aka Captain Crunch, Nigel Lewis Jr. I don't know if I should call it an update or a memo, but anyway, reminder with some new stuff. You already know about all the things I've been telling you, especially if you've been following for a little while. What brought this up? Not a little fume attack at the food store just now. It might seem nonchalant, but if you smell it, it's not an accident. It wasn't created accidentally. It doesn't do what it does accidentally. It's intended to get you not to sleep and not build muscle. If you're around it often enough, it can make you, well, some people, I guess, go below ground. I say it that way. But if you ain't got no underground bunkers and you gotta walk through the little fume bombs, breathing techniques, exposing yourself to as much sunlight as you can get. Sometimes you gotta get little vitamin supplements and stuff like that to try and override the nervous system shutdown that it does. Increase in cortisol and all of that, you gotta decrease that through those techniques. Sometimes you might have to do a little burnout jog or swim. Override it, whatever you can do to reset your, endocrine system, get your hormones functioning properly so you can get your body regulated. What a lot of people don't know, although you've been hearing stuff from over the years, oh, food is being modified and this, that, and the next thing. It didn't really actually hit home until a few years ago when you started thinking, yeah, the supplement sales have gone up. You wasn't seeing it necessarily so much here. I mean, I don't live in everybody's house, but I didn't feel the need to even attempt trying to even do multivitamins regularly, which is something I hardly ever used to do either. But since we're in that day and age where you got them anti-fit people, you call them anti-Christ or whatever else, them anti-fit people, anti-temple folks, people who, PE doctors I used to call them back in the day, they done evolved into total apparent hatred for anybody that looks good, tries to look good, tries to live. Their heroes want to die, I guess. You got them people who they want to be like them people. Oh, go out with a bang and this, that, and the next thing. Go bang yourself off the cliff where God sent the rest of them. You need to come around God's people to go and film yourself. We already know what y'all into. You're not gonna antagonize us into buying no jail time off of y'all. Everybody ain't stupid. It don't make you soft because you don't retaliate in the way they want you to do. You watch that movie with the four brothers. Dudes them was attacking was it the younger one? Went up there, knock on the door, flipped him off, did something that, make him mad after things and got already drastic anyway. He ran out there trying to go and, deal with the case, whatever, and it was an ambush. That's what they be doing. They hate you that much. They hate us that much at this point because they know they done lost. But you still got to do what you got to do. So with the food thing, it's one thing to say, yeah, you could go ahead and take supplements to boost yourself, but sometimes you gotta take them sometimes to catch up to where you actually supposed to have actually already been, health wise. So you might be depleted in some other things, cause like I said, when you smell that stuff, it can literally sometimes take days, if I mean weeks, probably even more if you don't actually do what it takes to actually reset. It's faster to reset and get your sleep, back to regulation if catch a quick burnout or jog out or and then some sunlight to it. Get your melanin percolating, get your melatonin percolating naturally as possible. You don't want to rely on what you don't have to rely on. But they need you to buy that shit because that's what they done invested in. Death. So whilst their weight hanging down on you, you got to be strong enough to stay up. And if that means taking some supplements, because the food nowadays sometimes, depending on what you buy, where you buy it, it ain't expensive for no reason. Them stuff they be things they be putting into the food nowadays to cause these things ain't always cheap. And if it is, you dealing with somebody who got enough money to grow these things, facilitate the, well, whatever it takes to put them into the actual food, whether it means they growing them with chemicals that naturally soak into whatever it is you're eating. If it's meat products, maybe they just feeding them into these animals that we eat, injecting them. I don't know, maybe they do it in the stores, who knows? Whatever it is, if you notice your regular meals that used to keep you up and, on top of things as far as your health and fitness, is concerned, ain't 100% doing it the way it used to, regardless of how much of it you eat, how much you hydrate, how much Gatorade or whatever, you replenish and stuff with, it still somehow seems to be kind of a, bit of a drag as far as your health and energy and all that is concerned. It's because some of these places, I guess, apparently really are making food that drags you down rather than keeps you level or even boosts you. Why? If it ain't a business thing, what else could it be? Who's down that wants y'all company so bad? My old lady used to say, mom used to say, misery loves company. Who that miserable? Personally, someone like me who grew up more or less, not around a whole lot of people, don't necessarily feel the need to be around a whole bunch of people anyhow. Does that mean everybody else got to be like me? No. But maybe that's probably why it's a bit easier not to be out and about and around these fumey bombers. Now here's the touchy part. What I want to say, everybody knows what self-defense means. And if they always have that show on was it Wild 'N Out, Hitman Hollow? If ain't nobody else experiencing it, you can't always expect everybody to see things your way in terms of dealing with it. However, if you happen to be one of those people that you legally have the rights and authority to, well, everybody has the rights to self-defense anyway, for legitimate reasons. Somebody's trying to attack you, and you have the means to make sure they can't do it to you no more. You ain't just helping yourself by stopping them, you're helping other people that they might want to do that too, as well. I know how I felt about certain things. Say if I actually had gone into some kind of official, I don't know, police role or federal agent role, even military role or something like that, where I wouldn't have had to ask any questions, this place would be real freaking quiet. Because I ain't the kind of person, personally, even now, God grab a hold of somebody and they know that's all it is, and they hate you that just because of that. They see him shining through you. Ain't no defense, there ain't no kind of defense better than God defense. But my coach always used to say sometimes offense is the best defense. If that means I was in one of them roles where, especially knowing how I am passionate about fitness and health and all that, sports and all of that, somebody just going around just trying to sabotage people just for no reason, I don't think they need to be alive, much less around other people. So why hasn't anybody else with these supposed authority or levels of clearance to do certain things not doing what they had started doing when this stuff started happening? So as a regular citizen in court, you have the rights to defend yourself, even if it means using lethal methods. Isn't there an organization or something like that that's supposed to deal with this thing? or private citizens have to go ahead and spend a couple of hard-earned dollars fighting off cases when this stuff happens so randomly. You could be broke in a matter of days, just going about your own business, plucking out people that just seem to want to fume a bomb the place just for whatever reason. If you go down the street, say how I like to catch the bus, I have to catch the bus for transportation purposes. If I was on there with my legal piece and everything on me, y'all might have to call me an actual, might as well go ahead and say it, not executioner, but if somebody's on the bus like how they used to do on them planes, I know passenger 57, this, that, and the next thing, and that scent goes up in the air, and I know what it does. Wherever that scent came from is gonna have to get off the bus and be scraped up from wherever it is they happen to be laid out at. Ding! As easy as it is for them to do it, it should be just as easy as for you to actually go ahead and stop them from doing it, because it's an attack on your life, an attack on your health. And you ain't the only one on the bus, you ain't the only one in the vicinity. So what happens to these other people that ain't as strong, that still want to live when this stuff happens and goes around? Somebody got to be the strong one. It ain't even a matter of strength. It ain't going got to be strong to do what they doing. It surely don't have to be strong to pull the trigger if that's what's accessible for us to have to use. I know they don't have a lot of personal handgun people like that around here, but it'd be kind of strange if you see people walking around the grocery store with loaded shotguns and rifles and stuff like that, just looking for somebody who's gonna use some hand sanitizer, looking all simple and innocent to the untrained eye. But to the ones that know and have experienced it enough to know, that's an attack. But if that's what has to happen, maybe that's what needs to start happening. You smell it, bang. Send the word out through the government agencies, whatever, if it's not going to be tolerated. If they want to put a stop to it and show that they ain't actually doing it or a part of doing it, they might want to put together some kind of something or something like that to go ahead and start getting rid of these things, because they clearly trying to get rid of you, us, me, and they don't seem to care. Them fumes go anywhere, and it ain't like say somebody, oh, he's smoking. That ain't the same thing. Little brush fire, oh no, that ain't the same thing. Somebody got a fragrance allergy, no, that ain't the same thing. This stuff is seriously bad. And suppose that's what they put into food as well, to cause you not to sleep and lose fitness, progress, health. You lose too much sleep, you can stop living sometimes. So somebody got to make up their mind. Everybody knows around here I haven't been able to hold on a job long enough to be able to get my own anything, really. Like literally anything. So they ain't gonna be asking me to be the one to go ahead and buy something illegally to do something that's supposed to be legal. So somebody gotta know what to do. I know God know what to do. If he wasn't, I wouldn't have been saying this. So y'all out there, it ain't just about putting in the fitness work nowadays. Now it's about avoiding them people that don't want you to be as good as you trying to be. All your heart, your soul, and your might. That sounds like maxing out if you know anything about exercising. As hard as you could, as much as you could, whilst being balanced. It ain't just all about all you could do. You gotta rest as hard as you train. And if they know that, for them, all they doing is figuring out they taking out a big connector into that big fitness, progression. Take away the sleep, upset the cycle, disrupt the cycle of growth, mess with the fuel, nutrition, another way to upset it, cause injuries and stuff like that. 10 steps forward, 100 steps backwards. That ain't progress. Technically, God knows what you're doing and trying to do. So, that's going to be up to him. But as far as looking and performing like how you want to look, 1 step forward and 10 steps backwards isn't going to do it. So, maybe the fifth people need to actually get together and form a pro-lease organization. Don't really sound like a bad idea, but like I said, if I'm not the only one that's experiencing it, I happen to be somebody that could actually uh, possibly organize it, regardless of who feels about it, however which way. If who's supposed to be dealing with it, they ain't dealing with it, you gotta consider that they may be part of the problem. And yes, it is possible to chemically or genetically engineer something to a specific blood type, to a specific, I guess, body chemistry. Somebody high in testosterone and things that are found in the body naturally that, shows somebody exercises, it is possible to go ahead and trigger that. So when you hear people saying that, oh no, it ain't do them nothing, probably because they them dogs that, like you say, they park cars. Dogs don't bark at park cars. They ain't trying to do nothing, so it ain't affecting them. But the ones that's trying, it is possible to do something like that to actually keep somebody at a certain level unwillingly. Somebody wanted to take something to hold them back. They fully in their rights to do that. Somebody want to take something to get them forward. They totally in their rights to do that too. But you're supposed to be in charge of your own self. Nobody's supposed to be able to determine that for you, especially if they ain't trying to go where you trying to go, or ain't seeing the light that God's showing you. So let's figure it out. You can see what happened to the last Olympics. I already said it. And God is with us. So, I mean, we ain't supposed to just be hidden and, withdrawn and stuff like that. Yeah, in the Bible there's times when you fight your battles, and then there's times when you retreat. That'll happen all throughout history. That's just part of survival. But when you can't go anywhere, then that's when things get tricky. If they got you in the barrel and they're just taking the pot shots and stuff at you, what are you gonna do? Splash them? They poison in the water, they poison in the food, putting inhibitors into the food and water, making lackluster or subpar medications, false medications. So when you go ahead and think you're getting something that's going to help, you spending on it and it ain't helping for some reason, and it automatically always used to. It's a big, big, big thing, dealing with powers and principalities and powers, whatever you call it. Serious shit. Some of it is spiritually dealt with, some of it can be physically dealt with. So for those who ain't, well, I guess I don't know if any of us really in control of anything spiritually. That's still God's realm. But for those of you that know, the police was effective at one point. I mean, it still is somewhat. But you look around government, there's different groups for different things. Some people do different things because some people can only do certain things. And if there needs to be something else added to the grouping to deal with the rest of them seem to not be able to do or want to do, then that's probably what's got to happen. So I know I always been like a leader, team leader and all that kind of thing, but if that making any kind of sense to you, you know where to find me. You could try and make it happen. Apparently it has to happen. So, crunch out.